Okay, girl, make your grand entrance. Hello, welcome back to a new video. And today's video, we're gonna do the challenge where, you have to decorate a room with only two colors. I'm gonna spin the wheel to get the two colors that we're gonna decorate the whole entire room. I'm in Happy Home Paradise, so come on, let's go. Let's go spin the wheel. Okay, so I had to put my little witch hat for this one. So let's spin the wheel. Let's see what our first color is. Okay, and our second color is...
Shut up! It's starting!
Okay, so I did struggle a little bit with this room just because I didn't know what the theme was. And at the end, you will tell me what you think this theme is. I started placing stuff and I was like, you know what? Let's just grab all the red and black things I could see and just start placing them. And, I thought it was a good idea. I was like, maybe I could do like a little kitchen here, a little, gaming setup or something there. Or, make it a bedroom. I did not know what this space was gonna be. I just started placing stuff. I was like, yep, that's black and red. That's also black and red. I placed that big table and I was like, oh, I'm not gonna use that. I'm not using that either. And I was like, you know what? I'll keep that. Just a chair. And then I was like, you know what? Let's make it into a room. And at this point, I don't know why I gave myself like a time limit to
Oh, that's so smart!
It's not.
It is, Bob.
finish these rooms because I started panicking. Like I was like, oh no, my time is gonna run out. And nobody told me to time myself. Like I just started timing myself. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna give myself 6 minutes to finish these rooms. And I started grabbing everything that I saw red and black that would fit in a room. And I thought it was a good idea. I was like, this has red and black, place it right there, right by the door. Then I also was trying to figure out what else can I put over there. I was trying to find the gaming setup, and I'm not sure if I don't have it unlocked yet in this Happy Home Paradise save. I'm not sure, I thought I did, but I couldn't find it, and I was like, you know what, let me try to see what type of other desk I could put in that. And I think I ended up trying to find the one that they use in the hospital one. Okay, I ended up finding this one. This is the one I'm talking about, just because I couldn't find that gaming one. And I was like, sure, it has a black swatch. And I was like, no, I shouldn't add that. And I was like, you know what, whatever, I'll add it. It'll be funny. And then I was like, well, this is red and black, this painting that I have. Might as well add it there. And like, oops. Again, this is my horror island, so I have a bunch of horror stuff on there. So I was like, you know what, it'll be added right there. And I was like, the walls are blank. At this point, I thought it was going to be done. The walls are blank, and I was like, the walls need something. So I added that little thing, and I was like, well, I mean, the dresser's also adding something. So I was like, you know what, let me find something red. And then the first thing that I found red was that little flower red mirror, and I was like, well, that one will do, I guess. And I added it there, and I was like, yep, this room is complete. And again, because I added myself a time limit, I did get stressed, and that's on me. I don't know why I did that. But anyways, this is the room, and I feel like it turned out okay. It's not the greatest. I mean, let me know what you guys think like this aesthetic would be. I don't know, it's like just red and black. That's the aesthetic. Okay, so let's get ready and move on to the next colors. Let's hopefully get better ones.
Okay, that was lame.
Okay, let's spin the wheel. Hopefully something good. Okay, green. I can work with green. Come on, something good with green. Blue. Okay. Okay, I did go in this one thinking, wow, this one's gonna be so easy. Blue and green go together, I think. And the walls, I did use blue and green. Just that the blue one looks purple, but it is blue, and the floor is blue as well, but it looks like a gray. So I was like, okay, this could be the setup. And I was like, what if we do it like a kid's room? So I ended up choosing the ranch beds just because I thought that they were really cute. And I was like, yeah, they look nice like for a kid's room. And I was like, yeah, and I was seeing if they had a blue one, and they did. And I was like, okay, they also had a green one. And I was like, yes, this will be perfect. Like, one kid would have like a green bed, the other one would have a blue bed. And then I seen that they had different like color options in the bottom, and I was like, oh wait, they have blue little blankets. So the green bed has a blue blanket, and then the blue bed has a green blanket. So I was like, yeah, that'll be cute. That will match, and they'll have like a little matching set, and it was really cute. So I placed them over here on the wall. I was gonna place like one in the green side, one in the blue side, but I was like, no, they'll just be like in the same wall, and I could just decorate around it. And that's what I did. So now I'm just trying to find a rug that will match in this area, and I was trying to decide. I thought that rug was bigger. Apparently I don't know how to read numbers because it said 2 by 2. But I was trying to find like a perfect rug, and I was like, well, should I just do like a green rug or something? I just didn't know like what I wanted. I was like, do I want a round one? Do I want a circle one? And I was like, you know what? This planet Earth is blue and green. Might as well use that one. But I took it off. I was like, no, it doesn't match. Even though the colors will fit, but it doesn't match. And then I really liked that little blue rug, but I didn't use it just because I was like, I feel like it's too small. And I fell in love with this one. I felt like it did somewhat match with the walls. I was like, maybe when I start adding stuff on it, like, it'll start matching. And I decided to add, some furniture to the place. Well, no duh, right? So I ended up trying to find like a lamp that could go somewhere, and I liked this lamp, the floor lamp. And then I got the green shade. I was gonna do blue, but then, I was like, no, I feel like a green one would be a little bit better. And I couldn't decide to put it there or here. And I ended up leaving it there. I believe it stays there. And I was trying to look for other stuff to add, and I was like, ooh, this Lily record thingy. I did like the base. It was green, so you know what? So I was like, yeah, sure, we'll keep it there. And I was like, what can I add to the wall? And I thought, this, and I was like, that says it's green. And I was like, yep, I did not like it. It looked like a weird bright mint green, and I was not feeling it. So then I was like, what else can I add? So I add this fan, and that loud fan comes back. And I was like, okay, you know what? We'll add the fan up there. And I was like, oh, these are green. These will look nice, like, on the wall, like, on top of the beds. So I added that. And then I added this little thing in the middle, the train set. It was with the pink trees, but I was like, no, the pink trees were a little bit distracted. And I was like, you know what? We could add this airplane back here somewhere. Then at this point, I was trying to see what else I could add because it is a kid's room, like technically air quotes, And I was like, what if we add the painting? I was like, it is blue. I accidentally deleted the rug, and I was like, oops, my bad. But yeah, I found it back, and that train set is so loud. I did not know how loud it would be. I picked like the loudest stuff to put in my videos, I swear. So I'll turn it down. But anyways, I've tried to find these little KK fighters picture frames, and I was like, you know what, those look cute hanging on the wall. And that's what I did. I found these two that had like the little green touch, and I added that fake tree over there. I'm like, it could be like a prop. They're probably gonna play somewhere or something. But yeah, this is a full room, and I thought it could turn out cute. To be honest, I feel like we made it up with this room because the red and black one was not it. But let's spin the last wheels and see what colors we get. Okay, let's see what the first color is. And it's purple. Is there purple stuff in Animal Crossing? Okay, second color, let's go. It's orange. Okay. Okay, something that The Sims and Animal Crossing have in common is that they do not like purple. And you know what? I was having trouble picking this floor or the purple floor. And I was like, you know what? Purple will do because the orange one was not it. Okay, so I decided to put this carpet right here. And I was like, okay, we could put a little seating area right here, like a kitchen right here. That was my goal, right? And I was like, okay, let's try to see if I could find any orange things or purple things. And apparently there's not that much. There's not that many orange stuff or purple stuff. And I was like, you know what? Let's just start off with the couch. Let's see if we could find a couch. Okay, and I'm pretty sure that there is a couch that probably has an orange swatch. I think it's this one. This one has an orange swatch. I was trying to see if they had purple. They had every other color except purple. And I was like, yellow. I was like, okay, they have an orange swatch, so I'll do orange. So I pick out these sectionals, and I actually like these. I use these for like modern builds when I do, the fancy little modern builds, because I feel like these are actually nice for those type of builds. I usually like, cottage core building, or, like really like overgrown with like leaves or stuff, like greenery. I'm not really a modern builder, so I struggle with this couch. And I was like, you know what? Let's make this like into a breakfast nook. And I was trying to find a table, and I was like, there should be a table. I thought this little table was gonna have a orange swatch or something similar to it, and it didn't. I don't know why I decided to look to the bigger one, because like if the little one didn't have one, why would the big one have one? And then for some reason I was like, maybe the cool furniture does have one. Like, and I was like, oh, I did not expect it to have an orange swatch. I thought it was gonna have like a purple swatch or something, but I did not expect an orange swatch. And then at this point, I'm like, there's so much orange. Like this whole entire little corner is so much orange. And I was like, now what can I add? I was trying to find something purple, and you can't categorize like the stuff on here like to just be a certain color. So now I have to think what like swatches have a purple swatch. I mean, at this point, I went back to, lighting. So I was like, let's see if there's a lamp. And I was like, this lamp never lets me down when I'm trying to find like a certain color. And there it is. It's an orange. And I was like, let's see if there's a purple one. And nothing. So I was like, okay, you know what? We'll do an orange little lamp. So because this was supposed to be a kitchen and like half living room, I was trying to see if there was any orange or purple fridges, and apparently there isn't, and like not even stickers. So I'm like, you know what, it's fine, whatever. So I found a little standing umbrella thing, and I was like, you know what, that says green, and I was like, it looks orange to me, and I was like, let's see if there's like a little pattern that I could put that is purple. And there's a little purple pattern. So now we have a purple and an orange umbrella stand, and which, to be honest, is fine. It's fine. You just put it in the corner and it will do. Oh, I didn't show when I put down that little shelf, but it is purple. Like, it has purple teddy bears. I mean, at this point, I'll take that. I was trying to see if this had any purple or orange, and no, I couldn't find nothing on there. And then I was like, you know what? Let's try to go see if we can find a mirror. And like, this flower mirror probably has something. To be honest, I was surprised that it had a purple swatch. And we're gonna put this little mirror on top of here and, call it a day. Cause look, see, there's purple in there, so purple and purple. So I'm still trying to find more purple stuff, and I found this, and I was like, okay, we'll put this on top of the orange little table. Oh yeah, I didn't show you when I put that little orange table there, and I was like, you know what? That's orange. I'll put it there. I put down the tablet for a second because I was like, you know what? Let's see if there's a purple or orange watch. And there isn't. And I was going to put the gold or the yellow, whatever color it is. And I was like, no, it doesn't work out. I tried to look in the books, like to see if they had any, and nothing. Like, it had a hint. Oh, that was yellow. Sorry, I thought it was orange. I thought that the piggy bank was gonna have one, but no, it didn't have any of those colors. I remember seeing something around here that had an orange thing, and I don't know if this phone is. Oh yeah, it does look. There's the orange watch. So at this point, the room was looking way more orange stuff than purple stuff, and I put that skull down because I was like, you know what, the eyes are purple, and that's purple, I guess. I decided to pick the bunny because I was like, you know what, it has a purple swatch, and we need more purple in this room. I mean, I could have put more teddy bear stuff, and I was like, hey, we could put this. And at this point, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna put this Halloween thing there, that's orange. This pumpkin, that's orange. Put it on the table, start decorating. And I was like, I'm missing more stuff for the kitchen area. And I was like, should I decide and just pick one of these, like, orange? And I was like, nah, none of them picked orange. Okay, so that sink right there that I placed down, it looked orange to me. This says brown, but when I placed it down, it looks orange. And I was desperate at this point to find purple and orange stuff. So because there wasn't that many furniture in this type of color scheme, I decided to duplicate this shelf right here and put the skeleton skull on top of there. At this point, the room was looking somewhat complete. I just needed stuff on the wall. And I was like, okay, let's see if I could find any like KK sliders, like, albums. And I couldn't find any. I ended up using these little guys. I was like, okay, there's a purple one, there's orange ones. So place them on the wall. I'm like, there's this little clown guy. He's purple and orange. Place him on the wall, pop him up right there. I was trying to add a little bit more clutter in this wall just because I didn't want it to be just all the furniture on the floor. So I was like, we need more stuff on this wall. And I remember this one has an orange little purple swatch just because I used it on my house with Pietro. And then stuff started getting silly and I started adding Halloween decorations because I was like, you know what, that's purple and orange. So we have both worlds. So we started adding that on the wall too. At this point, the room was almost complete, and I was like, oh yeah, we need like something for the living room area. So I decided to do this. Technically, it's not orange, but it looks orange, okay? And that little plaid right there, it's purple. So I was like, okay, this could be like a little TV stand or something. I did not put a TV on there because I know that there's no purple or orange TV. So I was like, you know what, we'll put a pumpkin. Apparently, the people that live here are ready for Halloween. Okay, so this is the final room. It is a kitchen slash living room. To be honest, this looks like something that will belong in my friend's island in Monstrous. This challenge was harder than it looked like. Trust me.
Are you okay?
No, in the game of okay or not okay, I am not okay.
If you made it far, thank you so much for watching. I do encourage you to try out this challenge just to see if you guys do it any better. But thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Subscribe if you want to, but only if you want to. I can't tell you what to do. I'm not your mom. Bye! I stress. And then